Hello everyone. So, those of you who don't know me and may have clicked on this video could think right now, why is this Sailor Moon looking ass bitch trying to tell me about metal? I am a grown man with... I am 50 years old and have been listening to this genre for like 30 years. It totally makes sense for you to not want to listen to me. So if right off the bat you think of something like that, then that's just one of the signs that means that you may be an elitist. And now, I understand, because if you're someone who has been on a subgenre, genre, whatever thing for a long time, then it's obvious that the longer you are into something, the less open-minded you are about it, obviously, because you start getting your own ideals and experiences. But there's a point in which that becomes toxic and we just start seeming like a toxic community of people. So in the context of metal, gatekeeping means to limit access to a specific subgenre or genre of music, depending on certain criteria. Well, and as you may have heard, these get a little absurd in metal. Because, for example, a lot of people say that new metal is metal, so that's metal that was created in the year 2000s and up, that has a lot of elements like rap and hip-hop. Or, for example, that to dismiss people as posers if they haven't listened to a certain album that a certain band has made. Or, there's that typical meme, I don't want to go that far, but there's that typical meme that says like, true metal fans when your favorite song from Nirvana is Smells Like Teen Spirit and not the one that they have of the drummer's girlfriend's grandmother's basement. And okay, so obviously most metal elitists aren't actually like that. That's just a joke. But I mean, there's a reason why that prejudice is there and why that joke is there in the first place. And elitism is the belief that a group of people, or in this case a certain genre or subgenre, is superior to others and deserves more respect than others because of certain attributes that it has. I don't want to throw elitists and people who do say these things under the bus. I mean, I think that there is some valid reasoning to what they're saying, but there's a point, of course, like as I said before, there's a point in which this becomes really toxic and it just makes you an unlikable person. Yeah, I wanted to discuss this subject. I don't know, I guess it's been on my mind, so you're forced to listen to it. This is CORNEA-SAL, and I'm going to be talking about elitism and gatekeeping in the metal community. Given our own tendency to have this kind of like hierarchical systems in humanity, I would say that elitism probably started, I don't know, back when Neanderthals were around. And one of them said, bro, you know what? That rock actually is way superior to that one. So if you like that, I don't know what I can tell you. You're just not used to shit. Okay, no, but for real, I would say it's like really hard to pinpoint when it started. We can pinpoint where this probably surfaced and became more important, at least in the context of metal. Metal started becoming more popular and started actually surfacing out of the underground in the 70s. And that's when it started becoming more popular with bands like Deep Purple, Black Sabbath. As the genre starts branching out in subgenres, and more people start enjoying it. The people that were in the beginning, they probably felt a need to prove their authenticity. This is not only in metal, but just like in any sort of thing that becomes popular. Because, I feel like we as humans are pretty individualistic, and I don't know, there's this general context in society. In this year and in this age of humanity, individuality is so important. We see this with TikTok and like social media. To apply certain aesthetics to yourself, to be perceived a certain way, you need to have certain interests and this a certain music taste as well. Like, that's why people who listen to basic music are often called brain dead or like stupid, when of course this music is a whole world, and to me it's my world. That was so corny. To me, music is really important, of course. Like, I mean, you can probably tell, like, my whole channel is dedicated to music. I make music, I sing, I play guitar, whatever. It's really important, but like, we don't have to force people into things. Maybe if certain people like listening to Katy Perry's top 10 songs, then what's the problem with that, I'm getting a little off subject. People often seek authenticity, and especially this generation, like Gen Z, and I have no idea how Gen Alpha is going to be. We just seek a lot of authenticity in every aspect of the word. So obviously when something starts becoming popular, we often want to distance ourselves from those people that made it mainstream or whatever, or don't do as much research as we do, aren't into it as we are. So this is probably when metal elitism started doing its little pesky work. Or like even with fan bases, or like this band is better than the other, the whole Megadeth against Metallica discourse, that probably had something to do with it, or like that's just an obvious conjecture, just based on observation, like seeing how humans are and what I've seen in fandoms and shit. Can we let people enjoy things? No, we can't. And then a lot of people say like, oh, this is true metal, or this is true metal. And you know, like I said before, the whole new metal is not metal ordeal. That's why I bothered myself to make a list of things that are needed in a song to be considered metal. So first of all, distorted guitars, powerful drumming, strong bass lines, like heavy bass lines, and sometimes aggressive singing. Not always. Sometimes aggressive singing, like screams or growls. So I just made a snippet based on all those things I heard. You can hear it now. Get over. If we just heard everything I just said, and we kind of heard some metal before, we have basic reasoning skills, then we can therefore assume that that is metal. But some people would beg to differ. Why? First of all, because I'm a girl. Second of all, because I'm young. Third of all, because of the guitar I used. And fourth, because I used FL Studio. I will let you take your conclusion from that. Then some other people would say it's because of skill and complexity that it's not metal. Because, you know, like I just use power chords and that. Does that really matter, or is it just like nitpicking? I personally never heard anything and been like, oh, this isn't true metal. No, there's obviously some corny stuff in the metal genre, like whatever you find corny, like maybe excessive controversy just to make a name for yourself. I know there's a lot of like recent bands that have been doing that, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not my cup of tea. But that doesn't mean it's not real metal, it's just corny. And now, I've been shitting on elitists this entire time, but I want to defend them as well. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. You know someone's about to have a shit opinion when they say that, but okay. I think that gatekeeping is important for a community. Okay? Don't flame me. I think that to a certain point, it is important to gatekeep some stuff, because when you're into something, be it music or whatever the fuck, it builds community to know that you've got something special, to pay attention that something is not as popular, to give credit to those people that are mainstream yet or whatever, that aren't a household name, because there are a lot of people who are trend hoppers, get into things just because they're popular. That's their way of living. I'm not judging, but when you're someone who's really into a certain thing and you have this need for authenticity, it's really common for people to like get messed up and start tweaking when their favorite artist, their favorite underground artist becomes popular. So I understand them because of the commitment that they bear with them and why they don't want that part of the personality taken away. So you shouldn't be basing your personality out of that either way, but you know, maybe that's just the way they are. And I do think that gatekeeping helps raise the genre up, and I do believe that every community needs to have some certain members who are completely extreme about it and completely crazy about it to keep it alive. This isn't only with music, but with trends or fashion styles or anything like technology. You could apply it to anything, really. But of course, there's a point where that becomes toxic and you just don't allow new people in, or you just bash on young people for getting into the music that you like 10 years ago. And to a certain point, these people have to understand that they should start wishing the best for the artists they like and not be annoyed by them when they actually start getting popular. A lot of people bash Metallica for switching to the mainstream or whatever, or they say like, oh, now that they're popular, I just don't like them anymore. So really, then you're just not enjoying the music. You're enjoying this perceived notion that it makes you superior or better than others. And like, you can enjoy listening to underground artists and be like, have them be your little secret and feel happy and special. You don't have to go sharing stuff that you don't want to share. But don't be a fucking dick. Don't be so sassy. Come on. Like, if a band you like gets popular, don't just stop listening to them because of that. That just makes you a poser, actually. Wait. I just ate. That actually makes you a poser. I think that they want to be true metal fans so bad that they just go full circle and become a poser. They're pretending generally like this band because it's underground. They are what they think people who only listen to Metallica's top 5 are like. There's also this whole discourse on if you haven't listened to the entire discography or you don't know their unreleased songs, you're a poser. Why can't you just like the most popular songs? There's a lot of people who bash on girls for only listening to Deftones like Cherry Waves and Change, or only listen to Toxicity from Soet, or maybe they haven't experienced the whole scope of their discography. But does that make them enjoy something less than you? Maybe they're less invested. That doesn't mean that you can just bash on people for having a different music taste. Just a little hypocritical of me. Which is a little hypocritical of me, given my past videos. But I'm not perfect. Listen. That I understand something is bad doesn't mean that I have to stop doing it. Okay, out of joke. I try not to bash on people for having different interests. But you know, metalhead at heart. I do think that gatekeepers are needed to a certain point, but I also do think they kind of hold back the genre from becoming what it could be. You know, there are no gatekeepers in pop. There are no gatekeepers in classical music that I know of. So you know, just know that if you're someone who gatekeeps and you're watching this video, you're making all of us look bad. I don't know, if you're from anywhere except from the United States, there may be no fucking metal bands around you. You could be, I don't know, you could be watching this from Taiwan and you will think, fuck, like this band that I really like is never going to come here. It's just not popular enough in my country. People around me think I'm an edgelord because I listen to metal, or they think that I'm satanic or whatever. And if we stop gatekeeping and we start actually sharing the stuff that we like, or we stop bashing on newcomers, then we can become so many more in this community. And so many more people could use metal as a tool to feel way better. I know I feel way better when I listen to my favorite songs, and more bands would surface and become popular. More people would be inspired to grab a guitar or learn how to scream a death metal scream. I have a lot of friends in uni or old friends from my high school, people that I know from the internet, and they have this aversion to metal, which I spoke about in a previous video, just because they don't give it a try and give this image that as a community we have given it. We close it off for so many people that could use it for their daily lives, to be able to tap into this energy to learn instruments. We are depriving the people that are from third world countries, such as myself, from bands coming over, or like festivals going all around the world. Oh my god, every year I want to kill myself because I can't go to the When We Were Young fest because it's in fucking Las Vegas. I live so far away. I may actually go next year, I hope. This community could be so much bigger than it is. Even though I know a lot of people that don't listen to it or have an aversion to it or think that it's only screaming, there are also so many people on the street from my country. It has like 2 known metal bands that walk around the street with metal t-shirts. I've seen a lot. I've seen Opeth, I've seen Evanescence, well, obviously Metallica and Megadeth. I've seen Slayer, I've seen Gojira, and yeah, of course, some of these are new. Like Gojira is kinda new. I mean, it just got really popular like not too long ago, and like Bring Me the Horizon is still active. But where are the new metal bands? And not new metal. I mean like generally like new metal from 2024. Where are they? If we stop gatekeeping and being little bitches about our own authenticity, then we can become pioneers to make it a more popular genre. And you know, like I even showed my grandma Gojira, and she's listened to like 80s music her entire life. Like that's her favorite genre, and she generally liked it. She was not glazing me. If she doesn't like something, she will say it. She will definitely say it. She actually liked it. And you know, these people have like, oh my god, I love Gojira. I went to see them live and it was amazing. They have very beautiful lyrics about becoming a better person and the environment, and really important messages. And it's really heavy, especially for someone who has never listened to that kind of stuff, you know? Like the whole growls and the complicated time signatures. But she really liked it. And something being mainstream isn't bad. If you listen to something mainstream, it doesn't mean that you can't be into it and a part of it and implement it into your personality and tastes. Just because like we have to stop associating mainstream with bad, because something being mainstream is that it's being appreciated by tons of people. You know, like you make counter argument that by saying, well, it's special because the people who like it, you know that they have good taste. But what if we all just as a society had better taste? Have you thought about that? So this was CORNEA-SAL, and I implore if you try to show people metal, try to explain to them that it's not all crazy screaming, and maybe help them start out with something soft. There's like a build-up. It's, to me at least, it was a build-up of getting used to it. And it really saddens me that there aren't more people listening to it, because it's generally so amazing. It brings so much energy. It honestly actually changed my life. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you.